So hi, this is Joshua Ruskin. I'm going to go over Google Ads, and let's I guess begin. So this is what we're going to go over today. First, a little bit about this my company, just so you know who I am and what we do, why to learn Google Ads in the first place, how search engines work, the four core concepts of Google search, what are search terms, examples of good search terms, examples of bad search terms, ad writing basics, what makes a good text ad writing do's as well as ad writing don'ts, keywords and search terms, more in depth, keyword match types, negative keywords, classifying these search terms and like bid adjustments. And if we have time and you guys, feel like it's something a little more advanced, how to do, more advanced like ad optimization. So let's jump in. There's a lot to go over. I'm going to start with just, my company. We are a Google All-Star Partner Agency, meaning we're top 2% of all Google partners. We work with big companies, nonprofit organizations, schools, government agencies. So here's some of the clients we've worked with or work with currently. Some of the big clients would be San Francisco Association of Realtors. That came out too fast. Developer Network, Floormax, and Keen.io. They actually raised $100 million in like a seed funding round. So that was a really big one. Nonprofits, Rainforest Action Network, Soul Cookers International, schools, Washington Adventist University, Prince George's Community College, St. Pius, and Monticello's Academy, as well as government agencies, U.S. Navy, and use part of agriculture, that was a really fun project. So we've grown a lot from the get-go. I've also done a lot of traveling. I guess this is covering the screen, I think. But as you can see, I started over in California and then worked Malaysia, Singapore, Malaysia. This is all like, 2019. I traveled a lot before that. Did a lot of traveling now until Corona. Here's some of the, events and traveling that I've done. This is some of the highlights. And then you'll notice here, some people you might know, Ace and Andy over here, Pat Murphy, Maria Murphy, and then I don't know if you guys know Shane Clark, but some people in Baguio. But anyway, how I got to do this, here's my incredible team. I hire, essentially almost all Filipinos. We've done a few outings together, and but just want to let you know, that's about my company, but just let you know about me. It was nothing special. I graduated from a public state university, San Diego State University. I'm a B+ student, 3.2 GPA. I graduated in 2010. 2008, the recession hit. There was no real good jobs available, so I either had to take low-paying jobs or work for myself in the economy gig. And I chose the latter, and slowly built this business. Just to skip right ahead, make a long story short. So why learn Google Ads? So you can turn your life from this corporate America loser guy to this, full-time traveler that's enjoying life. And right now in Colombia. And so, it's a little more seriously, why learn Google Ads? Some of the obvious answers of why to learn Google Ads. Google Ads is the cornerstone of online marketing, right? It's scalable, it's measurable, it's flexible. Google Ads beat out all their channels combined, including TV, radio, print, as well as other online channels like social media and email. So it's very, very powerful. It keeps on growing. I didn't have room to put the graph in here, but it's Google, online and Google search just dominates marketing right now. Google Ads is faster than SEO, and SEO is also in a large way dying because Google Ads are taking over the SERPs. And for those who don't know, the search engine result pages. Actually, I should move this back over here. So I got a better answer, though, of why you should learn Google Ads, right? Not just because it's this dominant platform that is really necessary for sales and marketing. The reason I want to learn, online marketing, Google Ads in particular, is for me, online marketing means freedom and choices. Online is freedom. Online gives you the freedom to control your W's, working on what you want, when you want, where you want, and with whom you want. Very, very powerful, the W's. Online marketing allows you to be self-reliant and independent. Further, gives you the freedom to work from home, work while traveling, or even work offline with Google Ads Editor. That's a little more advanced, but it lets me do. That's why I've been able to travel as much as I've been able to travel, is because I own a business that does this. Marketing. Gotta move this a little more in the corner. Marketing gives you choices. Marketing gives you choices. It gives you the choice to work in any job or industry that you are passionate about and you can get paid well for. It also gives you the choice to work for yourself as a freelancer or run your own agency like me. It also gives you the choice that, if you do have a passion outside of anything, outside of just corporate America or corporate, Philippine culture, whatever, it gives you the choice to do your own passion project and know that you can market it well on your own, that you'll be a beast at marketing. All right. So I didn't know how far advanced people on this would, watching this would be. So I'm going to start with the general gist of just kind of how Google works and what search engine marketing is. So just a heads up, Google is, search engines is how you find things online. When you type something into Google, it's either called a search term or a search query. Google uses these things called, spiders that crawl up websites and decide to give you scores based on over 200 factors. That's part of SEO, right? Trying to rank yourself well for search engines. Google then presents the user based, whatever you typed in, what they consider the best results. And if you're an advertiser, you can also do ads and pay to show your ad to people that type in things into Google. And that's where we come in. We write those ads. All right. So here are the 4 core concepts of Google Ads. If you can, can I minimize this more? There you go. There we go. Okay. The 4 core concepts of Google Ads. Now, this is extremely important. If you can understand this intuitively in your brain, you will be able to kind of derive almost everything you should do on Google Ads. All right, ready? You are buying search terms from Google users like we just went over. You are buying these search terms in a live auction, which means there's bidding. The only thing that matters in this live auction and for buying these search terms is cash flow, which means that you actually have to bring in users to the business. So how do I describe this? And I think this is one that most people get lost on, especially with online marketing. People get lost in the views, the likes, the impressions, the clicks. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is money and cash flow. And so if you can understand that businesses only do marketing so they can profit, you'll do better marketing. All right. And then this is another obvious one. Do more of what is good and less of what is bad. So for example, if I'm Budweiser, right? I'm Budweiser beer and I want to sell beer. My guess is that it'd be young males that are primarily going to buy this beer, right? So I'm going to probably want to pay more to show my beer ads in front of young males than I would to be, old people or females, right? So you do more of what is working and what is converting and making you money and less of what's not making you money. All right. So what are search terms? This might be very basic, so I'm sorry, but I want to make sure I cover all my, all the basics and make sure we're all on the same page. So David is looking at buying Valentine's Day bouquet online. He types in red roses into the search box on Google. In this case, red roses is the search term. Adam wants to buy some new jeans, but doesn't want to go all the way to the mall and find a pair of jeans he likes. So he decides to search online. He goes to google.com and types in buy jeans online. Buy jeans online is the search term. All right. So good search terms. Both those were good search terms. Example, just like the other one. If I owned a clothing store and I want to show up and I never typed in someone, buy jeans online, that'd be a good search term. Buy a dentist office. dentist in Santa Rosa, and if I was in Santa Rosa, it would be a good search term. If I owned a fitness store that sells treadmill would be a good search term. What's a bad search term? Back to the gene example. Someone typed in when jeans were invented would be a bad search term. Someone, you're in Santa Rosa, right? Someone types in dentist in New York. That'd be a bad search term. If you owned a fitness store and someone typed in NordTrack treadmill 1750 reviews, that would be a bad search term. Why, though? Why would some search terms be good and bad? It comes down to the sales funnel. You want to get people at the bottom of this sales funnel. So at the top is just like awareness, right? That would be like, kind of like the NordTrack, but I think that's more interest or consideration. Someone that's typing in like reviews, that's how to high up the funnel. The ones that like buy jeans online, that person's ready to they've got intent at least. They might, it sounds like they've got a specific gene in mind. So they're at least going to probably have to evaluate, but that's much more down the funnel. Dentists in Santa Rosa, right? They're going to have to probably do evaluation, but the intent's definitely there. If they typed in like best dentist in Santa Rosa, then they're obviously doing evaluation. But the idea is that you want to get these people lower down the funnel when they're ready to buy, right? When there's less friction between them and they're taking their wallet out and putting money on the table. So keywords that are high up on this funnel are bad. Keywords that are down this funnel are good. Moral of the story. Oh, I probably should. Yeah, okay. People. Yeah, there you go. Same thing I said. All right. Ad writing. I'm going to go over it more basically. It's gotten a lot more complicated, but I'm going to go over just the kind of over old formats. Just because the new formats, I don't know how advanced people are in this course. I feel like people here are probably new. So I'm going to start with the easy one. Again, this is not the current format, but this is just going to be the format just for this early on examples, make things easier. Headline 1, you got a headline 1, and it's going to be 30 characters long. You got a headline 2, 30 characters long, a description, 90 characters long, and a landing page URL where you want to send users. All right? That's all we're going to talk about. There's more to it. Again, we're not going to talk about that right now. All right. Ad previews. This is what it looks like on mobile. This is what an ad would look like on desktop. All right. Components of good ad text. There's 3 main components of what makes a good ad. First, you want to immediately match the search term. When someone goes on Google, people get very frustrated when they see results that is not what they're looking for. So that's the default. They look immediately at headline 1 and want to know immediately, do you have what they're looking for, yes or no? So you have to immediately let them know you have what they're looking for, right? They say best dentist in Santa Rosa, you say best dentist in Santa Rosa, Dr. Harry out, whatever, right? Someone says buy jeans online, top quality jeans online here. Shop now, you know what I mean? Like you have immediately let them know you have what they want. All right, next. They know you have what they want. So now you have to tell them why they should choose you. You have to give them unique value propositions, right? Like free shipping, lowest prices, discounts, whatever, you name it. Why choose you? Why are you the best? And you can't just be broad value, like top quality, like anyone can say that. You have to think of something that your competitors cannot say, right? Like award winning or, like that we beat any price, same day delivery. Like you have to really think about something that your competitors cannot say. If it's something broad, like, best, top quality, anyone can say that. That's so broad. So when I say unique, like key emphasis on like, unique, obviously you need value, but emphasis on unique. What makes you different? Provide a call to action. So now that they've decided, oh my God, this is the best. This is, the greatest things in sliced bread. I want to choose, company X. Why? What should they do, right? Like, what happens next? Call now. Like, you have to think about what your client wants. Do they want a phone call? Do they want an email submission? Do they want a download? What do they want? So make it clear. End it with a call to action. Give direction. Ad writing do's. Use title case. So capitalize the first letters of, especially in your headline of each word. There's been lots of studies. It works. I mean, Google comes out and says it. So don't swim upstream. Use numbers and proper symbols. They do work too. That they attach. They get the eye. So it's number signs, question marks, exclamation marks. All of that's good. Just don't overuse it. Maximize your character count. I say this a lot. A lot of ads do not maximize it. You've got all this real estate, especially if you're in a high position. Maximize it. So that means 30 characters for headlines, 90 characters for descriptions. Use that all that room. Use proper grammar. There is a theory that if you misspell things and it hurts the eye enough that it does grab attention. It's true, it does, but it grabs like, if you're doing it, kind of spacing things out and making things, maybe with weird capitalization, that's a little better. But using just like improper grammar shows a lack of education. You might save character count, but it's not something, this is something you expect from teenagers, like really shorting characters and really using improper grammar. That's not something you expect from a business. Okay, this is a big one too. Only advertise things on their website. That's actually on their website, right? They might have the best deal on earth. That's all over, their flyers and all over the emails they send and all over their Facebook maybe. But if it's not on their freaking website, that's where you're sending people to. They will go. People usually go to the website and they'll be disappointed to not see what was promised in the ad. Further, if you don't, what would be worse? That'd be, that's at least genuine, like that there was actually, a deal or promotion on their Facebook page or the emails. What would be even worse though is to make things up, right? Like you want to look good for your boss and look good for the client. So you make discounts and make things up so you get a lot of clicks and impressions or likes. Don't make things up. The people it'll come back to bite you, and you'll just be wasting money. You will go to the website, not get the discount they wanted or what they're expecting, and then they won't buy. So really only advertise what is on the actual website, not what was on the Facebook page. All right. Ad writing don'ts. Don't use all caps or crazy random capitalization. Don't use more than one exclamation mark. Keep symbols reasonable. Don't use repeat symbols. Don't use crazy at signs. Don't use weird extra spacing stuff. Don't make Google feel embarrassed to advertise you. In other words, yeah. Anyway, let's go look at some good ads. Let's go over what kind of to replicate this. Granted, the format changed a lot, so this is an old ad. This is one of my favorite ads of all time. Someone types this about red roses when they want red roses delivered for Valentine's Day or for Mother's Day or whatever, right? Want red roses delivered now? Oh my God! That's even the now is a value prop. That's immediate, right? So there's even a value prop in the headline, right, that immediately matches your search term, right? You want red roses to deliver red roses? Roses delivered now? Immediately matches the search term and a little small value prop. Even the URL, roses.com, right? Lets me know immediately that they've got roses. This is what I'm looking for. Free delivery. Oh my God. There's a value prop in the URL. Fantastic. Beautiful hand-picked roses, right? More unique value props. Beautiful's broad, but that's nice to hear. Hand-picked though. I don't think a lot of companies actually do hand-picked, but if they did, a lot of people wouldn't know that. Free, right? Free same-day delivery. Oh my God, they deliver. It's free. It's same day. That's 3 value props in one sentence. Amazing. Call now to make an order. They want me to call. This is just jam-packed with unique value propositions, and it's just so it's so well done. It makes me so happy. I love that ad, if you can't tell. Okay. Yeah. Just all this stuff. Just the now, the URL even, oh God, is everything I said. I should have pressed this faster, but lots of unique value propositions, good call to action, amazing. Another good ad. This person's looking for wedding announcement cards. Ready? Wedding announcement cards, 40% off site-wide. I think this is actually Google's example. Example.google. Yeah. Customizable wedding announcements. Free and fast delivery. Order online today. So I'm pretty sure this is the example that Google gives, and it's a good example. And this is what I'm going to give it to. It lets the user immediately know that you have, you have wedding cards, and that you've got a discount. You've got value propositions throughout, customizable, free, fast delivery, 40% off site wide. Again, they're unique. Not everyone's going to have customizable. Not everyone's going to be free. Not everyone's going to have fast delivery or delivery at all. And you tells you what to do. Call to order now. So that's how you want to write your ads. You want to do it. You want to have those three components. Immediately match the search term. You want to then give unique value propositions, and then you want to give a call to action. All right. So there's something you might be missing. Like you're like, wait, we just talked about search terms, talked about ads. How do we get from search terms to ads? Right? There's something in between, right? And you are not wrong. There's something in between. Keywords. Oh my God. So for search terms to get to ads, there's something in between called a keyword that gets you from search terms to ads. In a nutshell, I want to maybe go a little fast. I feel like I got a lot of slides to go through. Keyword match types. There are 4 keyword match types. Get some water. One is broad. Broad sucks. Never use it. It's the default. Oh my God. I tell employees, I strangle them to death if they use it. Do not ever use broad. Broad match modifier. That's a better one. I like it. That's kind of what I do early on and then get more precise. Phrase match. We'll get into that. That's a little more exact, a little more precise than exact. It's a little more exact. All right. How do they work? Broad, again, very, very low level targeting. It's the default. So you type in whatever keyword you want. Customizable wedding cards, red roses delivered, whatever, type that in. Problem is you'll get a lot of similar keywords. So example that I like to think about would be like chocolate wedding cake. Let's say someone types in, where to buy chocolate wedding cakes, right? And then that's what you want to sell. Someone types in where to buy chocolate cupcakes, your ad will probably show up. I hate broad. Broad modifier. With that plus sign, you put that plus sign in front, that word has to show up, right? So instead of cupcakes, you could put cake, right? Chocolate wedding cake, and put a plus sign in front of cake. It won't switch out. Google won't switch out cupcake and cake anymore. So that plus sign makes a world of difference. Always use that plus sign. Or phrase match. You put quotes, and now the keywords have to be there. No switcheroos. And in that specific order, but keywords can come before and after. So you say dentist in Santa Rosa, it could be worse dentist in Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa, dentist in Santa Rosa that committed murder last week. Crime scenes, whatever. It's anything before and after. Whereas exact, you sent dentist in Santa Rosa, that's what you get. You'll notice there's an asterisk around all of this, is because there are variants, and I hate variants, and we'll talk about variants in a second. So let's do, again, examples of where things can go wrong with broad match. Formal shoes, right? That's the search term. So we've got what I can do would be, what would you show up for before footwear, evening footwear, men's dress wingtips. It can go sideways very quickly if you can't tell, from formal shoes to men's dress wingtips, right? Now we're going to try a broad modifier, but just on the plus shoes, right? Now men's dress wingtips, no more. Actually, all of the top other 3 go away completely. but we can still get evening shoes, black dress shoes. All right. Now we're going to do a double broad mass modifier, right? We're going to put in front of formal and in front of shoes. Now, because of close variants, I touched a little bit on earlier, it allows for misspellings. This will be a misspelling of formal shoes. So you would still show up. Formal evening shoes, right? That will still be there because it still has formal and shoes in there, right? Phrase, right? Again, it's almost like a Russian doll. You get more and more small and exact the further down the funnel you go. All right. So phrase. Now we're gonna get black formal shoes for men, right? Now exact formal shoes, we get formal shoes. So you can see kind of what happens. Think of it like a net. Broad is just a super, super wide net, and exact is not a net at all. It's like a harpoon, right? It's exact, it's precise. All right. So keywords close variants. What this allows. So it allows for misspellings, singulars or plural forms, stemmings, abbreviations, accents. Okay, now I gotta go to negative keywords. This is gonna be your freaking best friend. You're gonna need to be like a master at negative keywords. All right. So negative keywords are more powerful than keywords. If you had a keyword like red bags and you had a negative keyword bag, anytime someone typed in the word red bags, the keyword wouldn't show up for you. You'd be ruining that keyword. Negative keywords can really bite you in the butt. So be very, very careful how you use them. Again, they're much more powerful than keywords. But they're used to block unwanted search terms, right? You're going to want to compile a huge roster of negative keywords. Very likely you want to do something called the shared library. Now, you're a little more advanced. You want to use the shared library, probably do it on the account level. But things like free, scams, other, case studies, PDF, there's a whole roster of keywords you might want to block from the get-go. And just as you look, you should be looking regularly every week at least on your search terms, and then continually blocking out the bad search terms and making the negative. Making it negative so that the search term never shows up again, so you don't burn money. So Google's kind of shady. Just gonna throw that out there. Google's kind of shady. Why I say that is because Google's default is broad for keywords, and it's the close variance allows you to just kind of blow money very quickly if you're not careful. And negatives, you really have to be very specific, unlike keywords where they want to kind of be broad and blow money for you. This one, for example, if you block the keyword flowers, you still haven't blocked flower. You can still show up for, you won't show up for red flowers anymore, but you'll still serve for huge types of red flower. It's absurd. So you have to just really be thinking just how to add a lot of negative keywords and really, be very good about not blowing money. Be very, very good at it. Be very diligent. Negative keywords are like a huge component of Google Ads. All right, so check it regularly, like I said. You're going to want to, again, be adding a ton of negative keywords, but also if you've got a broad keyword like, red flowers, it's what says best red flower delivery company. You're like, oh my God, that's me. You might want to, you should add that as an exact. Up the bid, because that's clearly a keyword like red roses. That's so broad. That could be anywhere in the sales funnel. But that long keyword I had, it's called a long tail keyword. That's really down the funnel a lot to like purchase intent. They're probably at evaluation, but they're really close to purchasing. So you'd probably want to add that as an exact keyword and up the bid a lot because it's a very valuable keyword. All right. So I kind of went over that a little bit here, but how to, if you get a good keyword, add it as exact. Here's some examples. So the search term was, in this case is dental cleaning and whitening. So this will, the keyword here is dental cleaning. That would be your keyword that triggered it. And that's a phrase match type. I would add it and I would make it exact because it offers both and you can write a specific ad for both. All right. And, cleaning and whitening kind of are similar. Anyway, emergency, and it's obviously a more valuable keyword. They clearly want two services. That keyword is also obviously more valuable because they're going to pay for more. Emergency Dental Services, Santa Rosa, California. This is dental emergency. This is pretty specific. I would definitely add it. I don't know if I would bid necessarily. Yeah, I'd bid more a little bit, but isn't necessarily bid a lot more on that keyword. But I would definitely add it as exact so I can get better measurement and data on that. So emergency dental, that's, see, even this one's not, they switched the order around. Google's so shady. But this one's already, these are real search terms, by the way. These are real search terms. I didn't make these up. So this one, since it's already there, it's a duplicate. The keyword's already present. It did this. So if it's already there, it's already exact. Just pass and leave it. It's already exact. You already did your job. All right, how to do bad ones. So dental insurance plans, San Jose, California. Our keyword was, modified broad plus Santa plus Rosa plus dental. So this would be insurance plans would be the bad ones because they do accept insurance. So this is why, some insurances they'll work with obviously, and they'll make plans, but you want to block insurance plans as quotes because that's not what they don't offer. They obviously don't offer insurance plans. They're a dentist. Dentist George Wyatt, right? Well, he's not George Wyatt. It's different. So I would exclude, this would be a both. I would exclude both George and Wyatt because in the future someone might type in dentist Dr. Wyatt, right? Or dentist George W. Our favorite president of all time. Kidding. Anyway, so that's the basics. I didn't know if you guys had questions, and it sounds like it's not really an open Q&A, but normally I'd ask questions there. But that was going over just the fundamentals of search terms, keywords, ads, how they all work together, how to use all of them, and what to do, and how to think. Search terms. How deep in the funnel it is, how valuable it is, how much is it to buy, and how much do you want to buy for it? Keywords, what the different types are, what keywords, what types to use, what keyword broad, never to use, and then into how to write ads. So we're going to go into not just those components, but it's what is Google Ads, right? What's going to generate a sale? And what leads to a sale for business owners are targeting the right user at the right time, using the right keyword that clicks on your ad and goes to the business owner's website where the user buys, right? So getting the right user, demographics, right time. They, when they type in the right keyword, you show, you get your keyword to match correctly, and then you show the right ad that gets clicked on. So it involves a series of you doing the right thing, a lot of you making right choices. So it's not always easy, but you line it up. So now we're going to we talked about how to do the right keywords, how to find the right search terms, how to do the right, sorry, it's late at night, guys. I'm repeating myself. Right ads, but now we're going to do demographics and how to do the right user at the right time. All right. Right user, right time. So the primary metric we're going to be using is cost per conversion. That's what we're going to primarily use to gauge how well we're doing at generating leads for our business owners. Again, the two concepts we're going to really remember when we go over this is concept number 3, concept number 4. Again, core concept number 3 was the only thing that matters is cash flow, cost per conversion. Number 4 is that we do more of what is good and less of what is bad. Memorize those 4 core concepts It's helpful in all of marketing and sales. All right. So, oh yeah, there they are. Oh my God. All right. So there are currently 7 different types of bid adjustments. 1 is going to be on their age. 2, their gender. 3, parental status. 4, household income. 5, their location. And 6, day/time. And 7, devices. So let's do more of what is good and less of what is bad. If you sell hockey sticks to men than to women, then you should bid more on men and bid less on women. If you sell adult diapers and the people that buy them are primarily older people, let's hope at least, they should probably pay more to bid to old people than to young people. If you find that if you're renting yachts out and you're only rich people, the top 10% are renting these yachts, you might want to consider only targeting those 10% and forget everyone else, right? This seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how few people actually think about this and do this, regularly. And business owners aren't paying us to spread the word or get them likes or thoughts and prayers, right? Like this is unless you're like a nonprofit or something. That happens sometimes, but no, business owners really generally want only one thing, and that's more paying clients. So just keep that in mind when you talk to business owners. I think a lot of people talked to business owners, and I'm one of them, and they say things like, "Well, we brought you 20 more, let's say 200 more clicks than last month, 20,000 more impressions, 2% higher click-through rate." I don't give a flying bat from hell. Try not to swear. I don't care. I only care about making money. And I think that's, business owners as well think the same way. That's the only way it works. Again, sorry I'm a little bit off. It's late my time. It'd be better if I did in the morning, but want to give you the opportunity, guys, for me to show up. So I actually went through that really fast. I thought it'd take a lot longer. So just because I thought maybe it's more Q&A, but let's do the bonus. Let's talk about ad optimization. This is going to be more technical. There's math, and it involves complex thinking, but let's go over it for the people that want to get some gold nugget, something more technical. This is for you. So while we do ad optimization, we have to think not just about the other business, but what about Google wants, right? Google wants to make money for every single search term, right? And that's how Google thinks about it. They think about, okay, someone types into Google, how much do I get paid per search term? And since this is a pay-per-click model, Google only gets paid if someone clicks on an ad, right? So I can have like $1 million bid, right? Then I have to click I'll pay Google $1 million anytime someone clicks my ad. But if no one clicks, Google never makes that $1 million. So Google really cares a lot about not just what you're willing to pay, your bid, but about the key performance indicator, the key metric they're looking at is something called click-through rate, which is essentially clicks divided by impressions. The higher, the better, because that means Google gets paid, right? Google only gets paid every time someone clicks on an ad. So every time they show your ad, they want to know that they've got a very high chance that someone will click on your ad if they show your ad. So that's the number one thing they're going to look at is that CTR. All right. Q&A. Oh my God, Q&A. How much is your suggested minimum ad budget? That is so. Thank you for the question. That's very specific. To be very truthful, and a lot of clients like me saying this, but it doesn't necessarily work well for your business at first, is as small as possible. I like to start with the idea, again, if someone has an account that's active and has been running for a while, you don't do a strategy. But this is for all new accounts. My goal is actually at the beginning not to even get them sales. That might sound strange, but my goal at the very beginning is to generate to get as much data as possible. I want to get a large amount of data for as little cost as possible to make as really much better decisions. So at first, my goal is to get a really good, clean data on a very small budget. So my budget's going to be very, very small when I first start. So I just want to really cheaply collect data and really quickly, take my golden compass, which is Google Analytics, and then just like get the arrow pointing where I need to go, and then just quickly move there as cheaply as possible. Minimal viable product, right? MVP. So I'm trying to go minimal viable product, cheap bids, cheap budgets, collect enormous amount of data as little as possible, and then move quickly to get sales. And you're asking how much, as little as possible. If it's a client you're first starting out with. If it's a new client, and again, they've got nothing, no data, no account running, you want to get data as quickly as, cheaply as possible. So it really depends on, again, what that means as cheap as possible. If you're doing like, Christmas cards, it's going to probably be like, cents or like a few dollars for bids. If you're doing car insurance, you're going to be paying like, if you spend $20 a click, consider yourself lucky, right? That's going to be lots of money. And so if you're doing car insurance and you know that your bid, your lowest is going to be $20, you're going to say you want to have like data, you're going to need like maybe 20, 30 clicks a day. That means your budget's going to be like $500 a day, which is going to be $1,500 a month minimum. Probably want more. So it's not even a question about like, the question shouldn't be, the best budget is what's going to be like the cheapest budget you need to get as much data as possible. That's the answer. But what the budget should be, the smallest amount possible to get the data needed to make correct decisions. And then once you've actually got data, what the budget should be after you've got data is what the math tells you. It's whatever gets you ROI, right? If you're making profit, and you've got more room to grow the account out, then increase the budget. If you've ran out of room to grow the account, there's no point. You really want to get whatever is the highest ROI. There's a whole bunch of math to do this. Google gives you a bunch of math for this too. But essentially, the budget should be whatever increases the highest ROI once you've collected your data. Hope that answers your question. But if it didn't, please elaborate.
Hello, Josh.
Yes.
Hi. I know it's evening there, and I know you're more active in the morning. But thank you for your doing this, because otherwise we would have to be moving the webinar much later time. So thanks again.
Of course, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. I guess in the Philippines, I just want to, I don't know if it's just me or maybe a lot of people wondering about this, but in Facebook, I mean, this is probably kind of a little bit more understandable. In Facebook terms, and as I'm sure you know this, the cost for ads in the Philippines is cheaper than, I guess, US.
Yes.
Does that work the same in Google? Is there like a variation of
so it would be definitely
cost?
cheaper in the Philippines. So essentially it's an auction, right? And so what happens, to get more technical, in Google would be something called your ad rank. Your ad rank is your bid, what you're willing to bid times your quality score. Your quality score is 1 through 10. So the idea is that if your people around you are also bidding really high and have high quality scores, you're going to pay a lot more, right? But if your competitors are paying less, then you don't have to pay as much. So it's a live auction. What you pay is determined by who you're in the auction with, if that makes sense. So if you're in a different country, you're going to be probably in a obviously much different auction with much different bidding.
Okay. And then there is an automatic bid and a manual bid in Google as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what I truly understood in the beginning is that you say that is it necessary if you want to make money and then everybody's buying from Google or at least searching on Google, all businesses must think about using Google Ads. Yeah, that's what I understand, right?
So
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah. Is it possible for us to see an actual
ad
uh,
account.
setup that you're making, and then, or probably some performances that you've done for, some anonymous company, and then so that we
I
could,
know. So I've thought about this, and
yeah.
if this wasn't live, and this was like I've obviously showed employees and people that I've worked with and helped. Promise this is
Uh-huh.
live, and I can't like cover it. I don't know how to do that. If I could cover names, I don't want to
Uh-huh.
get sued. So I
Yes, of
totally
course.
would, but I haven't been sued in my life. I want to keep it that way. So I just, but confidentally, if someone wants to message me and have are curious about learning from me or working for me, I can definitely show you some accounts, but I can't do it on a live Facebook feed.
Okay, I understand. Yes, of course. DPA is quite strong anywhere. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, um, no, I have this question in my mind. I keep on. Okay, from the business perspective and let's say a service provider perspective, like let's say a virtual assistant, can you give us like a summary of uh, how we're gonna present it? So, in a business perspective, the advantages, and then let's say, not a lot of people in the Philippines understand and do Google Ads.
Oh,
Really?
Google Ads versus being like a VA, virtual assistant.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that was I think the big thing. One truthful thing is not everyone's gonna be able to do Google Ads. I hate to admit it, but Google Ads involves. It's not rocket science. Some people will say it's so difficult. I don't think it's not physics. It's not rocket science. There's no calculus. There's no geometry, but it involves algebra. You need to know algebra. You need to know how to like write well, and you need to have good common sense. You need to have some idea of psychology and marketing and just the human condition. It involves a lot of different branches. Nothing like I don't think anything necessarily one branch expert level, but because it involves so many different things and components, um, I think that obviously for the VA side, it's going to be much easier to be a VA than to do Google Ads. On the flip side, though, obviously if things are harder to do, there's more of a demand for it. And there's more demand for it because everyone needs to market online. So there's going to be more demand for Google Ads than there is for a VA. It's a higher, more complex skill set, which means there's less people doing it, which means there's a smaller supply. And so you're going to get paid more. So that's the obvious outcome. You get paid more. I think it's more interesting, and the options of you can work in a bunch of different industries. You can think it's a little more creative in terms of complex thinking, not doing the repetitive task over and over again like you would as a VA. You can work as a freelancer and take a variety of different clients, like kind of like I did at first, and then maybe evolve it to an agency like I did. Or you can take something entirely different. Like I took my first company. It's a different company entirely, and that's how I even learned Google Ads. So yeah, there's I think I prefer Google Ads obviously, but I'm biased.
Okay, thank you. If my marketing budget is, let's say, $100, let's say, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be like triple million times than that. What percentage should I be putting on Google advertising?
Oh, compared to other channels?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, these are it's like it's so broad. Like I think social media is going to work. It depends what it is, right? If it's an event, social media is going to be the best. Like nothing, like anything social is going to do way better on social media. Fundraiser event, any kind of sports, all that stuff, right? It's going to be better on social media. Um, what's going to be better on like Amazon, for example, is products, right? Amazon really beats up Google Shopping right now. So that's that. But if you're looking for like a local service, that's probably where Google comes in. So it depends on what you're doing. And I think the big thing is like beyond that, like what I like to assume is I assume that I know nothing. Business owners especially, they assume they know way more than they know. Like that's my bit of experience, especially with ad writing. They have the idea in their brain, like because they're so entrenched in the industry that they should use these words that the common folk don't understand, the customers don't understand. And so business owners are really, I think, they don't know. And so what's real is numbers. Data is real. So back to my first point, like, I don't think I'm the most creative person. I don't think I'm the best ad writer. What I'm really, really good at, and why I think I actually have like my agency's ranked so well, why I get big clients, and what we do really well on is that I'm really good at doing numbers and doing math and following the data. And so my goal at first is always just get the data so that I can run real math and not just operate on opinions that like, oh, 30% to Google, 40% to Facebook, 30% to Amazon. You've got $100. I don't know where it should all go. Like, maybe put, whatever, do your best guess, but then the numbers determine from there where you need to go. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not $100. I'm talking. Yeah, of course.
No, totally. But
Just
I mean,
example.
so it was a service. It's a local service, Google, right?
Mm.
And do a smaller budget and test Amazon. I actually can't test Amazon, and test Facebook and link whatever, right? Test other stuff. Same thing with like if it's an event, right? If it's like, one of the clients I talked about was Developer Network, right? They run these huge tech conferences with like Microsoft, Amazon, all these big guys trying to recruit, really smart developers, and they run it all over across America. That's a huge social. They do Google too. I do the Google side of it. I actually don't do the Facebook side, but the social media is bigger because that's an event, right? So they're doing both, but so it obviously you should just kind of know what the platform's usually made for, what the intent of the platform is, but that's all guesswork. That's all opinion. That's his opinion. That's what the platform's for. But until you've got numbers, like maybe there's like a specific ad for whatever reason, and it's only a small niche for this one like type of person, for this one type of keyword, whatever, or category, that just kills it on whatever platform, right? And nothing else does as well as the other one, but that one thing does really well. So just always be testing and follow the numbers. That was a long-winded answer, but yeah.
Thanks, Josh. I'm encouraging people to ask questions, but I guess
please. Yeah, I love more questions. If not, I can jump into ad optimization before.
Or maybe you could proceed with optimization, and then we'll just wait for that.
Yeah, I'll do optimization, and yeah, guys, if they have questions, I'd love to answer. So ad optimization is gonna be a little more technical. Since we talked about like ad ranking, the big component again was CTR. And CTR is again clicks divided by impressions, and then into a percentage. All right. Okay, click on here. So this is going to get a little more advanced. So it's not just looking at CTR. There's actually a lot of other factors to consider. There's three factors to consider when you do ad optimization, what to pause, and when to write new ads. First one is click-through rate. That's the main, that's the KPI, key performance indicator. That's what's going to be the number one component of how Google ranks you. For your quality score, and for what's obviously working to bring people to your website. But you have to also look at, is there enough data? And you have to also look at, is it what I call a fair fight? Is it a good percentage, even percentage of impression share on top and absolute impression share on top? All right. So CTR, like I said, is the number one component. So if we looked at this, and I'll go through how we do this exactly in a second, but I just want to get the core concepts, make sure everyone understands this, because this is more advanced. This would be the best ad, right? The best ad as this CTR, 7.4%. This is at the moment the benchmark of the best ad, considering it has the highest CTR. All right, so we got that. The bottom ad, that 1.69%, would be the worst ad. And in this scenario, we'd ask if we should pause or not. So how do we ask if we should pause bad keywords or bad ads? First we have to look at is if there's enough clicks and impressions to consider pausing this thing. So what I look at is I think the ad impressions should be greater than 2 divided by the ad group average. You might ask what that doesn't make sense. I'll tell you why that makes sense and why that works. So if I've got, let's say, a click-through rate of 1%, right? What that means intrinsically is that if I show this in my ads 100 times, on average, they'll be clicked one time, right? 1%. So if that's my average, right, is that, and I've got an ad, right, that has 0 clicks, right, but has 80 impressions. I'd be like, oh, 0% CTR, right? It's less than 1, but it only had 80 impressions. What that means is I shouldn't even expect a click yet, because it hasn't got 100 impressions yet. I shouldn't even expect to click until it's 100, right? And then the ads in general, 50% would be, above and below, right? So I take 2x that 100. So if 100 is what I expect to get 1 click, I'll give an ad up to 200 impressions. I'll give it twice the length and give it that much time to get me some freaking data. If it's not getting me data in that amount of time, it's done. It's going to get paused. So that's what I'm willing to give it. So that's why it's 2 divided by the ad group average CTR. If that case was a 100, you need 200 impressions. In this case, it's about 5%. So in this case, I would need about 40 impressions. So, and these ones all have 40 impressions, these ads at least, which means that these can all be determined to be paused or not paused. All these have enough data in this example. All right. And this is probably the weirdest one to comprehend, but search impression share, what that means is when someone types in the search term, where's my ad show up, right? And so the top means you showed up above all the other organic results, right? You didn't show up on the bottom of the page, for example, or on page 2, or on the right side. You showed up at the top, right above organic. And absolute top means you show up at the very top, number 1 position at the very tippy top. So if an ad, for example, was, for whatever reason, just because of chance, was shown really low, not fair, it was on average position, let's say 3, while the other ads are position 1 or 2, it's not really fair to compare CTR, right? So this ad in the bottom, right, it looks like it's got half the CTR as the other ones, right? It looks not so good. Would you want to pause it? Well, technically not. The top ad is in the top over 90% of the time, right? 93%. And absolute top, almost half. It's at the very, very tippy top, right? Well, this ad it's at the top a good amount, almost 80%, but it's at the tippy top only at half, right? Half as often, and it's half as much CTR, right? So I'm kind of expecting, well, if it's half at top and half the time it's it's getting half the time not clicked at, very likely that's the reason. It's because it's not on top. So I wouldn't actually pause that ad that's on bottom, even though it looks the worst on paper and looks like, yeah, it's really low CTR. There is enough impressions to pause it. There's definitely enough impressions. So enough data, but it's not a fair fight. It's not comparing apples to apples, so I wouldn't pause this. So a sports analogy, because I think this is a more complicated subject. I want to give it, make this less technical. So this would be like a sports team, right? Each ad is its own sports team. They're competing, right? So CTR is the amount of points the sports team earns. So CTR being, again, the number 1 indicator, right? So let's look at enough data. During the playoffs, I was actually in the Philippines during this time, which is kind of when I wrote this originally, this concept. It was during the 2008 NBA playoffs against the Boston Celtics, beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not a big sports guy, but in this scenario, the Celtics won twice in a row, right? The first 2 games. So if that was your CTR strategy, you'd be like, oh, this is a better team, this is a better ad, whatever. But there wasn't enough data, right? The NBA knows it's more than 1 game. You need to have they do best of 7. And actually the Cavaliers was the best team. They won the majority of the games, even though the Celtics won the first couple. So you have to have enough data. You can't just take 1 win. It's one ad, got 1 click, that ad didn't get a click. You have to really get enough data for both of them. I told you how that math worked, right? 2 divided by the ad group average CTR. That's how you know if there's enough data. All right. The moral of that story is data gives you decisions. I think it's more of a lot of my questions too, right? What's the budget I should use? Data will tell you the budget. Where should I, put my budget? Where should I be doing Google Ads, Facebook? Where should I be doing my ads? Data. Data is your decision makers. Data is where data makes decisions. Your opinions are, assumptions, or the saying goes, makes asses out of you and me, right? Like you can start with some assumptions. Maybe you have to because you've limited budget and you want to, be a little wise with your dollar. But you should quickly, as cheaply as possible, get that data, test your assumptions, and then follow the data, and then the data guides you. All right. So, and it's not about one game. You need data, right? If the ad doesn't get very many clicks and impressions, who knows if it's a better or worse ad? It's not enough data to tell. So now let's go to the fair fight. So now that we've got over CTR's points and clicks and impressions are like the data points for this, positioning would be the fairness. So now imagine that same NBA playoffs and the Celtics, the Cavaliers are still, they're in their semifinals, and now every single Cavaliers have a 20-point head start, right? That's what it'd be like if an ad was on top of another ad, right? It's like a given like a 20-point lead. It's not a fair fight. Would that be fair? Of course not. No. A better analogy might be you and your friend do a jumping competition, right? You want to go jump as high as possible. But your friend gets to stand on a stool that's 2 feet taller, 2 feet high. And now you're going to do the jumping competition. Is that fair? Not really, right? It's the exact same with Google Ads, right? If it's ads in a higher position, like if you look at these stats, almost everyone clicks on ad 1, like automatically, right? And the ad 2, it like drops like maybe like 15, 20%, ad 3, like 5 or 10. It drops drastically down. So, if an ad's going to be really high up in position 1 all the time versus another ad that's not, it's not a fair fight. It's not, you can't really tell if that other ad is actually better or not. It's been in a way different position. So how do you actually implement this, right? And this is more of an advanced strategy to follow. So first, you're going to want to do the time frame on the upper hand corner. Pick your time frame. Maybe like 2 or 3 months. That's usually what I go off of. Then you're going to arrange your ads from highest to lowest in terms of CTR. Then you're going to make sure that you're doing this on an ad group level. You do not want to be mixing different ad groups inside campaigns or accounts. Like an example would be, an easy one would be like a gym store, right? Someone that types in weights that's going to be lower bids, and that ROI is going to have to be lower than someone that types in treadmills. That's a much bigger buy than simple weights, or like dental cleaning versus dentures. Dentures is a lot more of a bigger buy. So if you're going to compare denture ads, only compare denture ads with denture ads in that ad group. Don't compare anything outside. Very, very important. Extremely important. Should maybe highlight extremely. A lot of people screw that up. Apples to apples. Only do this inside ad groups. Do not just on account level or campaign level. All right. So now you do this on an ad group by ad group level. You've got your time frame correct. You've got your highest lowest CTR. All right. Now you're going to see the impressions. Again, the formula I'm giving you guys. Take this as a freebie. I thought this out a lot. The only thing that I might change is sometimes I think about making that number a 3 because sometimes I think you want to get more data. If you want to move fast, make it a 2. But if you want, you really want to make sure you got enough data, make that number a 3. But essentially, it's 2 or 3 divided by average ad group CTR. And if the ad has more impressions than that number, then it has enough data to compare fairly. All right. And then last, look at top impressions versus that. There's a formula for that I have as well, but oh my God, it's way more complicated, and I don't want to confuse you guys. But just look at it. It shouldn't be hard to tell, right? It's way different. And again, once you do that, do more of what is good and less of what is bad. That's like the big moral. Like make money and get data, and then once you get data, whatever the data says was working, do more of that. Data says not working, do less of it. And then next steps, get Google Ads certified. Here's the URL to get certified. There's WordStream, Client Boost, Search Engine Land, Search Engine Journal blogs. You can email me. I'll give you my first 5 training modules I use to train my employees for free. It actually covers this, at least the basics, a lot more in detail. And thank you so much. And yeah, this is how you can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And yeah, back to questions or anything else you guys have in mind. You can ask me questions about traveling as well.
Well, I'm going to ask you something because I don't know, like we're not getting questions. I guess it's either they understood everything or they're so scared to ask you a question.
Don't be scared, guys.
Where are you right now, Josh? I know you're the quintessential traveler. So where are you now?
Yeah.
Tell us about Colombia.
Medellin, Colombia. Yeah. Probably next Costa Rica. Actually, maybe with Pat and Maria, maybe Costa Rica or Argentina next, and then probably back to Asia for the winter, and then I want to do skiing in Europe next summer for the after winter and spring. And
that you're able to work wherever you are, whenever you want to.
I mean, the one thing I would say that is limited about this is the when you want to. It's kind of why I hate Asia in some ways, like not in winter, is the time zone does kind of murder me. I'm still client facing. I'm the client manager, so I am doing client meetings, and those meetings I can schedule them. Obviously, I've got a lot of control of when they happen, but they happen during U.S. working hours, right? I can't schedule something at 3 a.m. their time.
Yeah, I remember when you were here, you were not okay in the day.
Yeah. So I work nights in Asia, so it's not fully free. It's very flexible. Like honestly, also I own my own agency, so if I don't want to work and I have nothing scheduled that day, in theory, and I've done this sometimes, I'll just take the whole day off and run around, do some touristy things or whatever. I'll plan for it maybe even like I went to Chernobyl. I took that Friday off and whatever. I wanted to Chernobyl for that week.
Are you able to read our Facebook Live?
Oh, sorry. Oh, live. Facebook Live. No, Facebook Live. I can't read Facebook Live, but I can see Zoom. How do I see Facebook?
Well, there's just this guy who posted a comment. I think he's someone you know. His name is Russell Jean Fresnido, and he said, I started my digital marketing career here at Ruskin's Consulting 2 years ago, and I keep on growing my skills ever since. So she said thank you.
Aw, appreciate that.
And a lot of people saying hi from every part of the Philippines. Of course,
awesome.
Shane Clark, your friend, is here. Pat Murphy as well.
And
all the other guys. And I mean, I don't know, maybe Pat woke up for you. So that's something, right?
Pat never wakes up for anything. Thank you, Pat. Yeah, Pat sleeps in.
Okay. Well, we miss you here. So I hope that when things become normal again, or at least go back to the way it was.
I'm back in the Philippines. I'm back to the Philippines almost every year. See you guys, see Pat, see Maria, see my team. So I'm usually back every winter. And then I like the Nomad Summit at Thailand. So I usually do Philippines and Thailand. I did Bali after that this year. But I like Asia in winter. It's harder for me to stay like. I lived in Baguio for almost 3. I did like 2 years in Baguio.
Yeah.
And it got hard after a while, like the time zone. But I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, it sucks working U.S. hours, but you get paid U.S. You get paid more working U.S.
That's true.
Businesses.
And the internet is better at night, actually. So.
Yeah. And some people like it. Some people are really cool with working nights. Like when I was younger, I was way cooler with it, but now I really don't like it.
Okay. Right. So everybody's just saying thank you. No questions. I guess they'll probably do a replay of this video and every video file that we've had so far. We're in the 24th series of the
Congrats, yeah,
Initiative.
good job.
I know. now. And we got 5 more. So 3 more this afternoon and then 2 tomorrow. So thanks, Josh.
No
Thanks
problem.
for working with us on this.
Of course. You always got to help.
Okay. All right. Take care. Take care, everybody.